This show is a member of the Planetside Podcast Network. To learn more, go to planetsidepodcasts.com.
Welcome to I Shouldn't Have to Say This, the podcast where we discuss topics we believe requires critical and nuanced thinking. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at saythiscast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at saythiscast, and go to saythiscast.com if you want to hear previous episodes. Hey party podcast people, welcome. My name is Nicole, and I'm joined here by my co-host who will be leading today. And his name is Janra.
Did you say leading or leaving?
Leading.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, am I fired? Shit.
I'm not re-recording this, so your little interruption stays.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, before we get completely off track, too late, we are going to be talking about disability and how our nation's disability or Social Security insurance works.
Sure are. And I don't have experience in this department, but my good friend Janra sure does. Tell the class about your situation.
Oh my god, it sounds like you're reading off of like lines off your hand in front of like a recital.
I got a blank piece of paper in front of me. This is just what 8 hours at a 9 to 5 does to me.
Today we are going to talk about disability, and there are two kinds of basically what we call disability. There is SSI, or Supplemental Security Income, and SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Insurance. We're going to be talking about SSDI. So Social Security Disability Insurance, or Social Security, is when someone who has previously worked has built up what's called work credits, basically a work history. And then they go to the Social Security Administration and say, I cannot work anymore. I have built up work credits. I would like to get Social Security, please. And we're going to talk about that long and involved process because I just reached the end point of it a few days ago. It's really great. So to start off, when you determine that you are disabled, meaning for some reason, you cannot work a normal job, and it is not possible for you to work at all for some reason. Like you have a congenital heart problem, or you have joint pain, something like chronic pain. I cannot work because I have chronic pain. So the first thing that you do is you go on their site and you have to fill out this intense long form. You have to detail who you are, where you've worked before, how much you've made, and what exactly is wrong with you. This is where we run into one of the big issues with the way that the United States takes care of their disabled citizens. The whole point, the whole process is to keep people from getting SSDI. There are multiple gates, and at each one you are being evaluated for what you say, how you say it, and if they determine that they believe you, then you get accepted into the land of monthly money. But they don't want you to do that. They don't want to accept you at all, because the system is set up more to weed out liars than to help people that need it. With me so far, Nicole?
Oh, yeah. Fuck the United States. Just lingering on the fact that we just try and convince that everything about this system is about disproving people, or saying this person is unworthy because of X, or this person is lying because of Y. It's real gross.
It is. And as someone that has gone through this process 3 or 4 times, it gets weird. So the first step, like I said, is to fill out this form and tell them exactly what the issue is. One of the major problems with people with disability is it a visible disability or not? A visible disability is you've lost a leg or you're blind or something like that. Something that is easily identifiable, that someone can look at you or look at your medical records and say, okay, this person clearly can't work because they're quadriplegic. So yes, they will get disability. Someone like me with an invisible disability, as it's called, someone with chronic pain or joint pain. I know a few people that have issues with their hands or their legs or something like that. They can still function, they can still do stuff, but they can't do it regularly, and they can't do it in a way that would be conducive to like an employment. You know, like I can do stuff, but I can't be like depended on to do it regularly. This is one of the reasons why our podcast is every 2 weeks, to give me time in case I get sick. So when we're going through that first system, you fill all that out and you send it to a Social Security administrator. They have to then go through that. They contact your doctors. They contact like maybe previous employers. They do like a lot of due diligence to make sure that you're not a goddamn liar. If they determine for whatever reason that you don't qualify, like, oh, this person's in pain all the time, but they can still lift a jug of milk, so clearly they can get a part-time job or something like that. That process takes 6 months. So you can't work. You can't get a job. You can't even get a part-time job, because if you work at least a little bit, then they'll say, oh, you can work, and they'll throw it out. And I'm talking like 5 hours a week or something, not like an actual job, because obviously you can't work because you're applying for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might be able to take something under the table if they don't find out. This process takes about 6 months before you even hear about if it got in. 9 times out of 10, it does not, because like I said, they want to make sure that you don't get anything.
And
that's
also,
the whole, yeah.
It sounds like it doesn't sound like their bar is like not comfortably work, not work at like not be able to work in a sustainable way, like literally at all be able to work. It's why I would never try and file for disability, even though like I have a lot of fucking pain and every day I am in pain, because like I can still kind of do stuff. Like they don't care about that type of shit. The fact that I can means that like I can for money.
Yeah,
for 8
exactly.
hours.
Exactly. 8 hours every day. Like I had a job, and I loved this job. I was working at a doctor's office doing IT for them, like really light work. They said I could leave at any time I want. I had flexible hours. I only worked like 15 hours a week on days that I could, and I still couldn't do it. But because I could do that for a little while and then quit, the previous time that I went through this process, they were like, nah, you can work. What?
Mm-hmm.
It's just set up so you can't, so the person applying can't do anything. Like, especially during that intervening time, you're just sitting there waiting. You try to fill your days with something like podcasting. So then when you get denied, and I'm not saying if, I'm saying when you get denied, you then try to get, you try to go there again and say, look, no, I'm seriously disabled. I want you to look at it again. It gets sent to another person that then tries to make a determination over the course of another 3 months. We're getting close to a year after you first apply, by the way. They go over it and they say yay or nay. Usually it's nay. Nobody, again, they don't want to give you money. Here's the worst part. And after we go through just the process, we can talk about like what the effects are and what it can do to a person. But After that, then you can say, no, I do want to do this. I want to go in front of a judge. And they would make the ultimate determination. So after that, after you get denied the second time, you have to apply to go see a judge. You have to fill out the paperwork again. You have to go get your records and all of your medical records. And I'm saying all of them. Go to all the hospitals that you've been to, all the doctors, all these specialists, and get these pieces of paper and fill them out, send them into the government. After all that, then you wait like another year because the courts are constantly backed up and you have to go in front of a judge. This, my friends, is the worst part because you have to go to a courthouse. You have to go into a room in front of a judge, an employment expert, and hopefully you got a lawyer because you actually have to get a lawyer. You don't have to. You can do it on your own. Do not do that. If anybody is going in front of a judge for disability, find a lawyer. You have to go in there and you have to explain to them in detail why you cannot work. This is the part that I always dread because as someone and just as a person, and I'm sure many people are like this, they want to work. You want to contribute. You want to earn a living. You want to do all this. You have to tell this judge exactly why you are unable to do the thing that you want to do in detail with accompanying paperwork. It really is mind-blowing to me that just in terms of this whole process, and with me, it's taken about 2.5 years since I first applied. And I just saw a judge the other day, and I'm not going to hear back about their determination for another couple months. So it'll be like 3 years since I first applied. Through all this process, it is set up to just keep beating people down and to keep trying to push people away from getting this assistance. SSDI works off of work credits, so you had to be able to work before, and it is determined by how much you have made over the course of your working history. So we're not even talking about SSI, which is just for people that just have disability, they don't have work credits, and for other reasons. I'm not getting into that. But this whole process, and this process has been set up and it is run specifically, like I said, to keep people from succeeding. And I want everybody to think about that. And this is the truth for a lot of our government systems, which is why I'm using this as an example. For SNAP benefits, for WIC, for things you have to prove beyond a shadow of doubt that you need this assistance. You can't just say, I need it. Give them the paperwork that has multiple doctors saying, yes, this person can't do this. Yes. Because if there's one doctor that says, which happened to me, actually, one doctor that I saw for 5 minutes, he said that I was being performative. This was in his record, and that screwed up my whole process up to the judge. If one doctor says that, then you're screwed.
What
And
a
remember,
fucking cunt.
yeah, it was, and I can definitely get into that like in a little bit, but any hitch, anything that comes up has the potential to completely explode the whole thing. The one good thing is the way that it's set up, you are basically the clock starts ticking when you click submit. You submit all the paperwork originally. And at that time, you say, I cannot work at that point. No matter how long it takes, and well, not up to 3 years, actually. But up to that point, if you go through the whole process, then they backdate it and they give you payments back to when you first applied. So if I actually get it, then I'll get the payments that I was owed since 2 years ago, which is great.
Yeah.
But will I?
Yeah, it could be worse. They could shaft you completely, but
Yeah.
they could still shaft you
Oh,
completely.
it's much easier to shaft me, like just saying, nah. So, I had to see a judge. Like I saw the judge, my lawyer, over video chat, thankfully, so we didn't have to go into the courthouse. And also thankfully it was a different judge than I saw last time, who, and here's the final thing that I'll say that I want everybody to think about. There are Social Security judges. Like, this is what they do. They just listen to cases like this. Some of them just do not want to approve anything. Like, that is their whole deal. Like, some judges actually are proud of their denial rate.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people that are supposed to be making the determination if you are disabled or not, as you're in front of them, as you're trying to explain in detail why you are fucked up. And there are multiple judges that say, no, I'm going to try my best to find a way to keep this person from getting assistance. This is the situation for many people that are disabled, or many people that are disabled for a little while, because you might have been injured so much that you can't work for an extended period of time. You might have a closed period. You couldn't work for a year and you still could apply. But this whole system is made to keep pushing people away and keep pushing people down, even though with SSDI, that's your money. That's Social Security. That's what it's there for. But they're trying to keep you from the money that you sent them just for this purpose.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's the process.
We really do live in a system where the idea of one person accessing their Social Security early, because it's theirs, so they'd be accessing it early, fallaciously, is more important than the idea of hundreds or more likely thousands or even millions of people, probably more like thousands, let me not be hyperbolic, but like many hundreds of thousands of people
right,
going through this protracted fucking disability law. It's actually probably millions. Never mind, sorry. I started
hundreds
thinking
of
about
thousands at the very least, but probably our country has like 400 million people in it. I
15% of the population worldwide is disabled. It's probably
Christ.
higher in the United States.
Yeah.
And that's the World Bank saying that. So their standards are probably as rigorous and monstrous as the United States. So
rigorous and
different
monstrous.
stuff.
I think we have a podcast title.
Yeah. But anyways,
Yeah.
so probably millions of people going through this process, and then hundreds of thousands of people who are probably disabled not getting their disability because of the one person. Not even the reality, but the idea of one person getting away with it.
Yeah. And when we talk about this is Social Security, so this is the same line of thinking when, like, back in the 80s with Reagan and welfare queens. This is the same way of thinking. It's, there are people that want to take over the system or take advantage of our good graces as a country. And we can't let that happen, because then if everybody did that, then there wouldn't be enough money to go to the actual needy people, because so many people try to screw over the government through this long protracted system.
And also, it's a pittance. Also, it's a fucking pittance.
It is. It is a pittance. Yes.
So that's also important to this conversation. Disability is not something that you want to live off of, which is another issue that we should talk about at some point, and that as a society we should talk about. But disability is just, in terms of like the monetary amount that you are given, is made as unattractive as possible as something that you want for yourself. So not only do they make you go through this process, but then afterwards you cannot work. And also, they don't give you that much money.
You can't work either. Like, while you're getting disability, there is the possibility that you can work enough to make under $1,000 a month. But that might screw you up anyway, because they keep checking in.
Under a fucking 1,000.
Yeah. A month. Which is like, I don't know. I feel like everybody who listens to this podcast probably has some bills to pay, or has like, I don't think that we have children listening to this podcast, but on the off chance, God, I hope not.
but on the off chance that we do, one, go away, but not before you listen.
Yeah, we
to
swear
this.
a whole lot.
So one, go away, but number two, life costs a lot of fucking money. And just so you know, like $50,000, which is the base salary for like probably like a little bit low, but for most entry level positions that like at a professional level is about 50,000. That's more than 1,000 a month, just so you know. So just,
Jesus, really?
I believe
so much.
Yeah, what? Hold on. I'm being a dumb fuck, aren't I? Hold on.
No, I mean, honestly, I think 50,000.
It's a little bit. It's about 1,000. It's a little bit. So 50,000 is a little bit under $1,000 a month.
Just a little bit.
But with $1,000 a month, you're not paying like rent. The median rent is $1,200 in the country. In the inner cities, depending on where you are, it's probably 1,500. Even I think in Virginia, in like West Bumblefuck fucking Virginia, it's still like $1,300. So you're not paying rent, let alone like feeding yourself. Like, you're not living alone, obviously.
Yeah. Thank goodness. I mean, the thing is that if I want to get SSI, so Social Security Insurance, like just money because I can't work, they would actually look at my finances, how much I've made and how much my wife makes. Because if she makes too much, then I wouldn't get any Social Security.
So they want you. So they want you fucking poor, bro. Like they want you fucking without anything, a pot to piss in, and the SSI ain't gonna give you a pot to piss in. It's gonna give you enough money to catch the bus to window shop for a pot.
I mean, this is one thing that blows my mind just about SSI. There are many disabled people that fall in love, they have relationships, they want to get married, they do not get married because their spouse, their potential spouse, would make too much, and they would lose that on their SSI.
Yep. So it's a form. So when people say gay people can get married, so marriage equality exists, just you can slide the whole disabled people don't have equal marriage under the law currently. It's a completely different issue. We're just talking about ableism more generally. Hi, Nora. What's up,
Nora.
Queen?
Woof.
Shake
Nora,
my hand.
go woof.
Thank you. That was more of a hand touch. I said shake.
Damn.
Shake my hand. Oh, she not shaking.
Wow.
She wants to go out. Anyways, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
She was doing a lot.
She was really trying there. Fuck, where were we?
We were just talking about
ableism. I mean, yeah, and this is, we started off talking about SSDI, but I think just going out from that, just talking a little about ableism, just in the way that our country is run, we have a lot of issues because people don't want to think about the disabled. People don't want to think about like how we treat and I hate saying this, but how we treat the least among us. You know, like thankfully my wife has a job, and thankfully she did not get fired during the pandemic. If we didn't have that, then we would be out on the street because I can't work. Like, what would we do? You know? And
Yeah.
there are many different solutions that the country can take to keep that from happening. One of the things is UBI, not just disability, but just a cash payment for everybody every month. There's a overhaul of our Social Security system. None of these are going to happen because when politicians think about disabled people, they just think about people in wheelchairs. Let's be honest. And two, we don't really comprise a huge part of the electorate. You know, like either that or we're folded in. Like someone like me, I wouldn't be considered a disabled voter. I would be considered a black voter. Why would they listen? You know, why would they try to fix something?
Yeah.
So I think the last thing I'll say is when you see someone that parks in a handicap space and gets out and does not have a cane or something like that, there might be a reason. Or when you see someone that doesn't look disabled but has the ability to do stuff. No, that's stupid. What the fuck am I saying? I'm trying to explain invisible.
Mind your fucking business. If somebody says they're fucking disabled, if somebody says they're fucking disabled, what does it cost you just to fucking believe them?
Exactly.
Because disability comes in a lot of different forms and fashions, but also the shit that they're asking you to do isn't that fucking complicated.
Yeah. And really this whole process that I'm talking about, going through the disability process, going in front of the judge, and actually if this does not work out, if the judge determines that I am not disabled for some reason, the last part is either saying screw it or sending that to a panel of judges so they can look it over, which would take about 6 months at least. Then they would send it back to the judge that made the decision to redo the court hearing. Because that makes sense.
The same judge. That's
the same
stupid.
Judge. Because that makes a hell of a lot of sense. You appeal the judge, then it gets sent back to the same judge, who is probably annoyed with you at this point.
Yeah, because you're supposed to give up.
Yeah. At any point of this process, you are supposed to give up, say, screw it, I'm not going to do it. And so many people get to even the court point and say, I can't do this, or I won't do this, or I can't get to the courthouse. I can't find a lawyer. These things are physically impossible for me because I'm disabled. Thankfully, I was able to do this, but if you basically, the two things, the major things are, yes, think about how in your life you might be ableist. You look upon people like with disdain or something like that. Everybody has an ism that they have to deal with, multiple isms. But the other thing is, if you have the opportunity to vote for someone that actually wants to fix the Social Security system, please do it. Please, for the love of God.
Yeah, please. Nora, stop.
That's the episode.
I'm so sorry. My baby Nora is hungry. She ain't got no food left. She has no treats, and she must eat treats. Please pay us.
She must eat treats.
She must eat treats.
treats.
She must eat treats.
There's no question about it. There's no she needs to. There's no she wants to. She must. It is an imperative. And that's why
she beats me when she doesn't eat.
Oh my God. You know what? I was about to say blink twice if you need help, but we're audio. I can't see.
I do need help. She's staring at me. And
Oh my God.
And she's been coming after me for the last 30 minutes because she wants to go upstairs. I'm scared. Help.
If you want to help Nicole out, then there are a few different ways to support the show. I don't even know. There's coffee, ko-fi.com/saythiscast. You can spend a single payment to us if you like to support the show just that way, like one time, or you can become a patron. You can go to patreon.com/saythiscast, and you can go at different levels, 1, 5, 10, 20. There are multiple levels that you can do. If you do the $10 level, then you get special extra content. We've been putting out little mini episodes of different things, continuing conversations and random topics, things like that. So go to patreon.com/saythiscast. All right, so we had a really frustrating topic, especially for me, but now we can talk about happy things. So Nicole, what is making you so happy, very happy this week? Happy.
I
Joyful.
no longer have any free time. So I don't have like much in the way of media. I've been playing The Sims, which I wouldn't recommend. It's a very empty game. But I've been playing The Sims 4 because the new expansion pack, Cottage Living, just came out. And you can do a little bit of farming, not a lot. And I have been really enjoying playing a lesbian who is fucking her way through the town.
Cool.
With her in her little growing polycule, stealing a farmer man's wife and spiriting her way away and such. That's been really fun. And I am also thankful for my favorite friend and dog, who isn't staring me down in an intimidating fashion. I love Nora, my dog, my favorite. Please stop looking at me. What's making you happy, Janra?
Well, one, that I don't have to stress about this court date anymore. That's really great.
Heyo.
Thank God. The other thing is that I don't know if I've talked about Crosscode on the show before. Crosscode is kind of a Metroidvania game, as I do, and it has this really, really great story. Really, it's like it has a more pixelated graphics, and it doesn't have voice acting, but the writing is the writing is superb. The story, I've been playing this game for 30 hours, and I think I'm halfway through. And there was a scene that I was playing just before I got online with Nicole, where the main character, she got into a fight with her best friend and they weren't talking, and then they just made up, and I'm all like, oh my God. I'm so happy for them. Really, really great game. Yeah. I highly suggest it. Crosscode. It's on. Didn't you play it on Switch?
Yeah, it's on PC and Switch.
Yeah.
If you ever want to laugh, look into the way that they announced that shit. They were like, when pigs fly, and then they were like, pigs are flying, it's coming. And then it took like a year, and they were like, this shit was in HTML5, so fuck you. It's gonna take how long it's gonna take. And then they put it out.
That makes me love the game even more. Oh my God. But yeah, it's a really just wonderful gem. And if you like the video games, then definitely check that out. So thanks everybody for listening to I Shouldn't Have to Say This. We put our episodes out twice a week. Were you saying something? Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. if you like crosscode, or if you're not into crosscode, there's also an old game, but a good game. It's actually a series called Dot Hack. Dot Hack GU has a trilogy out has the trilogy out on Steam. Dot Hack
Really?
GU is really, really good. And by really, really good, I mean really long and emotional, and not very good because it was a early PS2 game, but I love it dearly. And it has a lot of themes that are similar to the ones in Crosscode. So if you have any interest in that, you should also look into Dot Hack. Sorry.
Oh, damn. This looked cool.
It was very
And
good, and I should
add
have
to wish
realized
list.
long ago that I was gay while I was playing it, but
Those are always the funnest things. Like you're listening to a song or a piece of media, and you're like, wait, fuck.
who wordy, I'm gay. And I always have been.
Son of a bitch. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much for listening to I Shouldn't Have to Say This. We put our episodes out twice a week. If twice a week, wow, twice a month. That would be way too much. You can go to Say This Cast. No, I'm not either. Mm-mm. If you like the music that we play on the show, then you can visit store.mustinenterprises.com. That is MUSTIN. You can get the theme song, which is called Mario Bay Breeze, or our previous music on all of our shows. So store.mustinenterprises.com. Nicole, where can we find you online?
Nowhere, but also on Twitter at Jack of Three Trades, as like 3 is in the number. I am in a combative mood, so I might be posting some hot takes in the hopes that somebody will take some bait. But usually I don't post that much. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at PressStartLock, and I'm usually in a combative mood with different things. Sometimes I just go into threads and speak my mind and see what happens. I don't know. Sometimes I get bored. So at PressStartLock on Twitter. I Should Have to Say This is a member of the PlanetSide Podcast Network. To learn more, go to planetsidepodcasts.com.
I wanted to insinuate, I thought the better of it, but I was insinuating that people were hypocrites by canceling DaBaby but not canceling Doja Cat when she said the F slur 52,000 times. And I was really hoping that somebody would argue with me, but no one did before I deleted it. Heartbreaking.
My God.
Fucking heartbreaking, man.
I'm sorry.
It would have been such a dumb argument too, and I would have won because I'm right.
Well, you said it, so yeah, right? I mean,
I deleted it because I was like, nobody took the bait after an hour, and I was like, God damn, this is just exposing myself at this point. It's gonna be like 30 years from now, so I'm gonna be like, so 30 years ago, you said that Doja Cat was wrong for saying the F slur, and then doubling down on saying the F slur and saying that she's gonna continue to say the F slur. I am literally shaking. You're canceled.
Okay.
Like,
wow.
I didn't want that to happen, so I deleted it.
Man, that is a whole story.
I'm literally shaking.